Hide! I need to show you who your fiancé is before you marry him.
How can he do this to me?
Hide inside this boot, ma'am. And don't make a sound. Your fiancé is hiding a secret. I need to show you who he really is before you marry him. Juliet froze. Her hands gripped the edge of her wedding dress. David, her driver, stood in front of her. His face was pale and his eyes were tense. He looked like he had just seen a ghost. "I don't understand, David," she whispered, her voice shaking. "What are you talking about?" "Madam, you must trust me." He paused. "Just trust me. Before your fiancé comes, get in the boot, please," David pleaded. Juliet's hands shook. Inside the mansion, everyone was busy. The morning sun spilled through the mansion windows. Today was her big day, the day Juliet had waited for 3 long years. Everyone moved quickly. Hairdressers fussed, florists arranged flowers, caterers carried trays. Everything was being prepared for her wedding day. Juliet and John had been together for 3 years. 3 years of love, laughter, promises whispered in the dark. 3 years of planning, dreaming, imagining this very morning. And now, a cold chill ran down her spine. She did not know the truth that was about to unfold. She looked at the car's boot. It looked normal, but David's eyes said otherwise. A storm, secrets, and truth waited. Juliet's mind raced. Everything had seemed perfect the previous night. John's smile, his jokes, the way he brushed her hand as they laughed. But now all she had was fear and doubt. That morning John had told David to drive him somewhere, just a quick stop. A simple ride before the wedding, he had said. David had texted Juliet immediately and told her to meet him at the parking lot. So here she was. "Please get in, Mom," David insisted. She nodded slowly. Her steps toward the car were careful, heavy, hesitant. The boot opened with a soft click. Her breath hitched. She stepped in, carefully, folding her dress around her, squeezing herself in the small, cold space. Her heartbeat sounded loud, too loud. "Stay still," David whispered. His hand touched the car briefly. "Don't move, don't make a sound. You will see everything soon. You will see the kind of person John truly is." Juliet pressed her hands to her knees. She closed her eyes. The world outside blurred. The distant sounds of traffic, birds, staff moving inside the mansion, all faded after the boot closed. Only her heart thudded. Minutes passed. Silence pressed down. She thought of John again, her loving fiancé, smiling, confident, perfect. Could he really be hiding something from her? Could this morning be a nightmare she never imagined? Minutes later, she heard movement. The front door of the car opened. Her stomach twisted. Footsteps came closer. David's voice, calm, came again from the front of the car. "Morning, sir." "Morning, David," John replied smoothly, casually. "Remember? We're going to the usual place." "Yes, sir," David said, calm. Juliet's pulse jumped. The usual place? What is he talking about? John slid into the car, unaware. He looked in the rear-view mirror, fixing his tie, humming softly. Finally, everything is going according to plan, he thought. Nothing in his face betrayed the storm waiting behind him. Juliet pressed herself into the corner of the boot, her hands trembling, trying to keep them still. Every bump, every engine noise, every turn on the road. Her heart jumped. Outside, the city shone, bright, calm. Inside the car, a storm quietly grew. Juliet's eyes adjusted to the dim light. She could see her reflection in the shiny car panels. Her face stared back, calm, controlled. Inside, chaos, fear, doubt. What is going on, she thought. What has he hidden from me all this time? The car started moving slowly. The city passed in flashes of sunlight and shadow. Every bump, every turn, every small noise made her heart jump. Ahead. The truth waited. A truth that would change everything. Juliet pressed herself deeper into the darkness of the boot. Her fingers dug into the fabric of her dress. Her breath came in short, uneven gasps. She heard John's voice in the front seat, talking casually to David. "Remember, park at the usual spot," John said. "Yes, sir," David replied. Juliet's stomach twisted. The usual spot. Her mind raced. The usual spot? What did John mean? She pressed herself deeper into the shadows of the boot. Her heart thumped so loudly she was sure John could hear it. Minutes passed. The car slowed, tires crunching on a quiet street. David parked. Juliet held her breath. She could hear the click of the seatbelt as John got out. He didn't notice the boot. The car door shut softly. "Wait here. I will only take a few minutes," John said. "Yes, sir." David nodded. John's footsteps receded. For a moment, the world was still. Then David's hands moved. The boot clicked open. Juliet froze. Her heart thudded in her ears. "Come out, ma'am," David said softly, careful not to startle her. She moved slowly, stepping out into the sunlight. The streets were narrow and lined with small houses, some freshly painted, others old and worn. The sun hit the roofs unevenly. The smell of cooking floated faintly from open windows. It was a place that felt ordinary, calm, and safe. Juliet's wedding gown was wrinkled now. Her hair had escaped its perfect style. Makeup smudged slightly from nerves. She tried to steady herself. David looked at her seriously. "I wanted you to see it for yourself, Mom," he said simply. Her eyes searched him. "See what, David?" she whispered. David only shook his head. "Follow him, and he will take you to the truth," he said. Juliet's heart stopped. Her hands clenched the folds of her dress. She nodded slowly. Her legs felt heavy, as if the dress itself weighed 100 pounds. She moved quietly, stepping into the empty street. The city noises seemed distant now. Each footstep echoed. Her mind spun in circles. Could this be real? Could John really be hiding something? She kept a safe distance as John walked toward one of the houses at the end of the street. He moved confidently, unaware of the figure following him in silence. Juliet moved silently, each step measured, careful not to make a sound. Her mind raced with hope and fear. Her breath caught every time he turned slightly. She slowed when a child laughed in the distance. Her mind raced, imagining all the possibilities, trying desperately to hope, but fearing the worst. She pressed herself against the wall of a neighbouring house, keeping her long veil wrapped around her. She moved silently, each step measured, careful not to make a sound. She peeked around a corner. Minutes passed like years. Finally, John stopped in front of a small house. Juliet could see him clearly now. A woman opened the door. Her smile was bright. A little girl ran forward. John lifted her into his arms. "Daddy!" the girl shouted. "Daddy! No, no, this can't be," Juliet whispered. Her knees went weak. Her hand flew to her mouth. No, it couldn't be real. The woman wrapped her arms around John. He kissed her cheek. Juliet stumbled back, her mind a whirlwind. The betrayal was undeniable. John stepped inside the house. The woman and the child followed, closing the door behind them. Juliet stayed hidden. 10 minutes passed. 10 minutes of heartache, memories flashing, how they had met, the promises he made. She remembered the red flags she had ignored and now glared at her like neon signs. Tears ran freely. Her chest felt tight, her mind heavy. Finally, John came out. He waved them goodbye. The little girl clung to him, the woman hugged him, kissed his cheek. He walked away, leaving Juliet frozen in one place. Her body ached, her soul heavier than ever. And then she made a decision that would change everything. After John left, she walked to the door, trembling, and knocked softly. The woman opened it, blinking at the sight of a tear-streaked stranger in a wrinkled wedding gown. "Yes, can I help you?" Juliet remained still. Her body became numb. Who are you?" the woman asked, voice trembling. Juliet took a deep breath, her hands trembling. I am Juliet," she whispered. I don't know how to say this. Today is my wedding day, and I am supposed to marry the man who just left this house minutes ago." Her voice cracked. John is my fiancé." The woman's mouth fell open. She laughed first, a short, sharp laugh. "This isn't real, you're joking." "Did someone send you?" the woman shouted. Juliet opened her phone, showing pictures, evidence, moments that proved everything. The woman's hands shook as she took the phone. Her eyes widened, then filled with tears. "How could John do this to me, to our daughter?" she cried. We've been married for 5 years," she stammered. "This is our daughter. She's his." She stammered, pointing at the little girl who was now playing nearby. Juliet nodded, tears filling her eyes. They both stayed silent for minutes, tears streaming down their eyes. For the first time, they looked at each other not as enemies, but as women betrayed by the same man. The silence held weight, heavy and sharp. Finally, they shared a look, a silent agreement forming. They would stop him. Together. They discussed a plan on how they would make him feel the weight of what he had done. Juliet's tears fell freely now, but she felt a strange power rising inside her. Minutes later, she left the house. She flagged a passing cab. She slid into the back seat, her dress wrinkled, her hair messy, makeup smudged, and her heart pounding with every turn the car made. She clutched her veil, staring out the window at the city passing by in muted flashes of morning light. When the cab dropped her off, she stepped out quietly, careful not to attract attention. She moved slowly toward her mansion, every footstep careful, every breath measured. She had to get inside. She had to prepare and pretend everything was normal. And she had to face the wedding because that day would change everything. Juliet slipped through the mansion doors like a shadow. The house was alive with movement. Voices, footsteps, and soft music floating from somewhere deep inside. No one noticed her at first. No one looked closely enough to see the wrinkles in her dress, the veil folded badly in her hands, and the ruined makeup. Her heart was still racing. Not from fear, from knowing. She moved upstairs slowly, each step heavy, each breath controlled. "Breathe. Just breathe," she whispered to herself. In her room, mirrors reflected a woman she barely recognized. Her eyes looked older and wiser. She stared at herself for a long moment. So this is who he really is. A knock came at the door. "Juliet," a voice called softly. "They're ready for you." Juliet paused. She quickly wiped her tears, fixed her makeup in a hurry, and straightened her gown and hair with shaking hands. It was not perfect, but it was enough. She took a deep breath and faced the door. "I'm coming," she said. As she walked down the hallway, she felt strangely quiet inside. The pain was still there, but it was no longer loud. The wedding cars waited outside, white, polished, and perfect. The cars started and drove toward the wedding venue in quiet lines of luxury and flowers. Juliet sat in one car alone, calm on the outside, while John rode in another, unaware of what waited ahead. Minutes later, they arrived at the wedding venue. Grand, beautiful, everything she had dreamed of. The irony almost made her laugh. Inside, guests stood as she walked down the aisle. Music played, cameras flashed. John walked and waited at the front, eyes shining, acting like a man in love. If only they knew who he really was. The ceremony began. Vows were spoken, promises made, each word cut deeper than the last. Juliet spoke hers slowly, carefully, every sentence measured. John stood tall, calm and confident, a small smile resting on his lips. To him, everything had worked. The lies, the planning, the waiting. He believed he had won. The officiant cleared his throat and looked around the hall. If anyone here knows any reason, any just cause, why these two should not be joined in marriage, let them speak now or forever hold their peace. The words hung in the air. Silence filled the room. A heavy, waiting silence. Juliet's fingers tightened around her bouquet, her heart beat once, twice, then. "I object." The voice was calm, firm, unshaking. It came from the back. Every head turned. John's smile froze. The room shifted. Juliet's chest tightened. Her eyes widened. It was Grace. She stood tall, calm, unhurried. She moved forward and walked to the altar. John's confident posture crumbled. His eyes darted from Grace to Juliet. What are you doing here?" he stammered. How did you find me?" Grace's voice was steady. "The same way you tried to hide," she said. Juliet felt a cold weight in her chest. Everything she had believed. All of it. A man had shattered. Her lips trembled, but she forced the words out. "John, why? Why would you lie to me? To both of us?" Her voice wavered. She saw the shame in his eyes. The lies, the excuses, all crumbling. Grace stepped forward. "Everyone here, this is John's wife, and they have a child together," Juliet shouted. Gasps rippled through the room. Phones rose, capturing every second. Juliet felt the weight of betrayal settle fully on her shoulders. The man she loved, the man she had helped, the man she trusted, had used her. Her dreams, her hopes, her trust, gone. John fell to his knees. I never wanted to hurt any of you," he pleaded. "I thought I was doing the right thing, for Grace or for our child, and you, Juliet. I thought you would understand." Juliet's eyes burned. "I had no choice. Please understand me." "Understand? You used me," Juliet shouted. "You lied. You smiled. You took everything from me and planned to give it to her. Is that your excuse?" Her voice echoed through the hall. Grace's eyes filled with tears, but her face was firm. "You left me. You lied every day. You left your own daughter to think you were working to provide for her. You betrayed me." John's voice cracked. I wanted to give you both a better life. I had no choice," John whispered, his voice breaking. "I was drowning. Drowning in debt. Loans piled on me. Every month the pressure grew. People, they came to me, threatening me, saying if I didn't pay, they would ruin me and my family." He swallowed hard, looking down at the floor. I lost my job. No work, no money. Everything I tried failed. Life. It was cruel to me. I thought if I could find a way, just one way, I could save us. I could save you and our daughter. And you, Juliet. I thought I could manage it all, give you both a future. His hands shook. "I never planned to hurt you. I only wanted to survive. I thought taking money from Juliet and giving to you would be right. But I was wrong. Everything I did, it was wrong." Juliet's eyes burned. Grace's hands trembled. The weight of his betrayal pressed down on them, heavy and suffocating. "No, you had choices. You chose betrayal. You chose lies. You chose to use love as a tool. Not just for me, for her too." John looked between them. I am sorry. Please, Forgive me, I didn't know what else to do. Juliet's chest rose and fell, her hands clenched. I don't want to hear it, not from you, not ever, Grace added, her voice strong despite tears. We trusted you, both of us. And you? She stopped, choking back a sob. You broke that trust. Phones recorded. Guests murmured. Juliet took a slow breath. This wedding ends here. With truth. With justice, John begged, falling forward. I was trying to do good. For both of you. I never wanted to hurt anyone. Juliet's voice cut through him like ice. Your good life is built on our pain. We trusted you, and you failed us. Grace nodded beside her. Your double life ends now, and so does your control. John sank lower. No words left, no power left. Only regret. The officiant stepped back. The ceremony was over, not with celebration, not with vows, but with truth. Juliet turned, her heart heavy but steady. Grace looked at her, pain mirrored in her eyes. No words were needed. They had reclaimed their power. They walked out on him. Outside, the world waited. Both women would rise, both would prosper. But this man would face his consequences. Behind them, John cried out. No one followed him. News spread fast, too fast. Videos went online. Messages exploded. The story was everywhere. John lost his job. His reputation collapsed. The life he built on lies disappeared overnight. Juliet returned to her world. She promoted David and gave him a job at her company. She rebuilt quietly. This time, with clarity. Grace went back to her life. She got a job and could now support her daughter. She became stronger and awake, no longer waiting for someone who never truly showed up. Both women moved forward. The moral of this story is, sometimes silence hides betrayal, sometimes love is used as a mask, but the truth does not stay buried forever. It always rises, and when it does, it changes everything. Thank you so much for watching this story. If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe to Authentic Tales by Wanjiru. And tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? We would love to know.